Yo, sup, this is MY3, and welcome to part 4 of the mini-series, and probably the last installment of the mini-series on potential engines you could be running in a Dragonmaid deck. Of course, Dragonmaid, as I've said, has access to all dragons in the game, has access to any dragon engine you want in the game, but I do feel like after the Dragonmaid episode is done, we've probably covered most of the good ones. Of course, like, if I miss some obvious ones, or if any cool dragon engines that come out in the future, which I'm sure there will be since it's dragons after all. At that point, I feel like you've learned enough. You, yes, look in the mirror, you are now a Dragonity/Dragon Master who can cook up your own combos. So with that said, let's get on to the Dragonmaid episode. Now, Dragonmaid is quite hefty on the extra deck, I'll just come out and say it. In fact, you can do a lot if you had an extra deck size of 16. But since we don't, we had to make a lot of sacrifices and innovations to get this functional with an extra deck size of only 15. So what are the benefits of a Dragonmaid engine? Well, you get at least 2 disrupts out of it on top of your normal end board if you do decide to run this engine. The first disrupt being a Dragonmaid Tidying, which bounces a card on your side and a card on their side, and in my opinion is the best possible out you can ask for a set Albaz. It's in the back row, which is great for all the reasons I've mentioned in the previous branded episode on why like branded beast is good. Except it's even easier to use since you only need to have a dragon on your side to use it, rather than having a bestial on your side to use it. The second thing you get out of this engine is a cool fusion monster as well. As for which cool fusion monster, we'll be talking about that later down in this episode. Now, the cost of such an engine are 4 cards in your main deck, a Chamber Dragonmaid, a Lorpar, a Parlor Dragonmaid, and a Dragonmaid Tidying. Of course, you also have the option to run more Tidyings. Tidying is a pretty good card. It has a second effect to banish itself to reborn a Dragonmaid. So you can reborn a Chamber Dragonmaid, which searches another Tidying. So if you think like Fallen and Virtuous is annoying now, Dragonmaid Tidying was doing basically exactly the same thing like 7 years ago or something, before it was cool. It also has an extra deck dedication of 3 to 4 cards, 2 of which being Lady's Dragonmaid and a Heretic Dragon King of Autumn if you're not already running it. And also the third spot being the cool fusion monster that you want to run. Now, as for the main decks, they're not exactly bricks, but they're all pretty subpar to draw. The best of the bunch to draw would be the Dragonmaid Tidying. It's an excellent discard of Ravine. You can Ravine, discard, Tidying, dump, say a Chamber, banish the Tidying, summon the Chamber, search another Tidying. So you still have your Tidying for disruption purposes, but you just got a free level 4 dragon on the field to do your link summoning with. Lorpar is okay to draw going second. It's like an imperm. It's not a quick effect, but you could just ditch it on your own turn to negate a guy. Parlor is not that good to draw. It's a normal summon. It's not ideal since you want to be normal summoning Kuranus, but there's also like some scenarios where you can special the Kuranus out of your hand with Divine Wind, and then you can like normal summon a Parlor. So it's pretty bad to draw, but it's okay. Chamber Dragonmaid is the only one that you never want to draw, since it's just a straight up neg 1, since you want to be summoning it of Lady's Dragonmaid from your deck. So if you draw this, it might cost you the ability to end on a Tidying. Now, as for exactly which cool dragon fusion you want to run in the extra for that third spot, the obvious one to go to is always like Dragonmaid Xiao. This card is just straight up an Omni negate, and it has like cool recursion effects as well during the standby phase. And you know, this is like, you don't really care if this gets super polyed or kaiju'd or whatever, since like Tidying can summon it from the grave, or you can Tidying summon one of the little ones, and then the little one summons this from the grave at the start of the battle phase. So this has like the most synergy. It's just the Omni negate, which is great. But the problem is you need a 4th extra deck spot to run it, which we don't have the luxury of having for the House Dragonmaid. Now, the House Dragonmaid is also pretty cool. It might get a pop. The pop is pretty bad. It usually doesn't happen because for 1, it misses timing. And for 2, if you like bounce an extra deck monster, it doesn't go to your hand, so you don't get a pop as well. And you have to do like things in a specific order, like, you know, you have to Tidying after the house is out. There's just so many conditions for the house pop to be considered a disruption, but you still have to run it for Shield's negate effect, which is why this package doesn't make sense for us. The next package also uses 2 in the extra deck, but we can fit it in, and that is the Light and Darkness Dragonlord. Now this is 3 Omni negates, so whoa, 3 Omni negates, that's amazing, right? But the sacrifice we have to make is we need to get a level 8 Dark Dragon monster out of somewhere. Now we can run like some bricks in the deck, like, well, not exactly bricks, so it'll be like an OK card in like, what's his name? This guy. Galactic Spiral Dragon or something for, we don't really like bricks here, so the way to get a level 8 Dark Dragon monster would be to run it in the extra deck. So something like a Scarlight, which I think is like the best of the generic level 8 Darks we have right now. Of course, like the Scarred Red is like better, but we don't have space in the extra deck to run a target, which is why I'm running this guy. And the reason we can fit it in is because since we're making this level 8 monster, we won't have the opportunity to make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, we will be able to take it out. So it does mean we're losing 1 negate to get the 3 Omni negates. Now 3 Omni negates obviously sound amazing, but it's all rolled into 1 monster. So 1 removal would get rid of all 3, Omni negates. If they just crown this, we lose 3 Omni negates. If they just super poly this off, we're losing 3 Omni negates plus something else. So I feel like this package is also not that good. Which leaves us the last option, also the weakest option. Just run a Philia Regis and call it a day. Philia Regis is not on Omni negate. What it does is quick effect banish a card your opponent controls or in their graveyard every turn. So it's a disrupt. But we get to keep the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, so we'll have, Crystal Wing plus Philia Regis. And I would also recommend running an Armogram to go with the Philia Regis, which will be apparent why later on in the combo section. Now, as for how to fit all of these in, obviously we need to run all of these cards, these 4 that we said. I also said I wanted to run an Armogram as well, since we're doing the Philia Regis stuff. And we'll just chuck in a second Dragonmaid Tidying while we're at it. Now, we don't need to run a set Albaz out anymore, since Tidying is our set Albaz out, so we don't need to run the Sphere's target. We also don't have the extra deck space, nor the main monster zones for a Tachyon Transmigration package, so we could take those out. And for the extra deck, Dragoluxion's coming out. Second, Snake Eyes and the Dispatter are all coming out to make room for the Lady's Dragonmaid, Atum, and Philia Regis. So yeah, that would be the deck, and I'll see you at the combo section. So as always, we're going to start off with a Remus plus 2 discard combo. So yeah, let's fire off the Remus, add the Ravine, activate Ravine, discard, add Kurinus, normal Kurinus, go straight for Divine Wind because this is going to be an Atum Glow combo. Next up, because we have a Dragoonity, summon the Remus from grave. Synchro for Gayderg. Gayderg adds and discards the Zephyros. Zephyros bounce Ravine, summon, take 400. Activate Ravine, discard another card, add Falchion. Next up, activate Divine Wind, add back the Kurinus, special the Kurinus, and equip Mistletoe from deck. Kurinus is gonna bounce the Mistletoe and special Falchion from hand. So yeah, the cool thing about Divine Wind is you can equip any Dragon Dragoonity, not just the tuners. Link off Kurinus and Falchion for Romulus. Romulus adds the Glow. Banish Falchion, equip from deck the Koos. So this is going to be a Phalanx-less combo again. We're only going to be operating on Koos and Falchion. Summon the Koos, send for Mistletoe, equips the Koos again, and summons the Koos again. Overlay Mistletoe and Gayderg for Atum. Atum detach, summoning Parlor from deck. A Parlor on summon is going to be able to dump a Dragonmaid, so we're going to dump the Lopar. And since we have a Wind on field and a Wind in graveyard, we can banish both for Lady's Dragonmaid. Lady summons Chamber from deck, and then Chamber is able to search us tidy. Next up, link off the Chamber for a Pisty, and link off the Tomb plus Romulus for a 3-burst Shock Dragon. And then we're going to head and make Bartra. Bartra equips 4, so everything in your graveyard. We're going to fire off the Glow and search Armogram. Banish, summon from Banish the Falchion and then banish the Glow to summon Gaydurg. Gaydurg can add DD Crow and discard Armogram. We're not actually going to do anything with Armogram, but it's just nice to have in the graveyard. It's like a really good main deck boss monster that, is big and negates things. Anyways, Falchion plus Gaydurg into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Next up, we're gonna summon the Koos from Equip, and then that plus 3-burst Shock Dragon makes our Georges. Georges summons Loon from deck. You don't have to equip because we don't have the space to summon the equip anyways. So we're just gonna link it off with the Pisty into Heretic Seals, and then Loon equips itself to Georges. Next up, send your remaining 2 equips, not the Loon, but your remaining 2 equips for Snake Eyes Doom Dragon, and then overlay that with Bartra for Harbinger. Set Tidying, and that's our turn. On their standby phase, Lady Dragonmaid is gonna be able to fusion summon. So it'll fuse itself with the Lopar that's banished. We shuffle both back into the deck for this to summon the Philia Regis. Now, what do we have here? We have 4 negates, one of them being summoned by Georges if they special summon. And then we have 4 disrupts. So we got a Heretic Seal, non-targeting bounce. We have a Philia Regis, banish. We have a Tidying bounce. And then we have a DD Crow as well in the hand. Of course, you can still play the Sphere's target if you want for a total of 9 disrupts. Otherwise, this field is just 8. The grind game situation is also pretty good if they get over this board. We have, of course, the Tidying, be able to recur the chamber and search another Tidy. We have the Armogram in the graveyard. We have the Falchion still in the graveyard. If Philia Regis dies, it has a graveyard effect that, it can just summon itself during the battle phase. And then finally, we have the Crown Jewel, Dragonmaid Divine Wind still up. But yeah, that is all. I hope you enjoyed the mini-series.